I don't know what the fuck is going on. What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and I'm trying this new StreamYard software here, so bear with me on this one. Want to make sure that can y'all hear me out there? Loud and clear? Damn, it breaks up. Why would it do that? All right. Yo, testing 1 2, testing. We good? Uh, maybe I could turn up the mic a little bit. See, we'll just turn that down. How's that sound? All right. What's up, bud? Yo, so we have a lot to talk about. The rumors circulating between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, whether or not d- the people that broke the news, the channel that broke the news was IFL TV, and they broke out that Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson were scheduled for November. They even had a date and everything, and a couple channels reported it. I was hesitant, to report it because I just had talked to someone yesterday about it, and they said that Tank wasn't going to make up his mind or send over any offers until he got back from the Olympics. So, and then when the news broke, I was surprised. I was like, huh? Wow, that's right. So I was like, well, maybe Tank decided to take care of this right now. I don't know, but sources are saying that they de- they debunked that that's not true. That November date is not true at all, and that So according to what I'm being told, Tank's gonna re-enter negotiations and start you know after the Olympics, and we'll go from there. We'll see where our top two American fighters to see if they will compete against each other. Um I want that'll be a massive fight. We're heading into Saturday night, Terence Crawford card, and we're gonna be breaking down this card. We're gonna be talking about this card, and I'm gonna check in with any of you guys. And in fact, if any of you guys want to join the live stream and want to turn on your camera and talk about any of these guys or the fights on the card, feel free. I want to check out this thing here, and I'll drop the link in it, and you guys could join in and shit, and we could just talk. And I just ask if you come in, be respectable, try not to swear, shit like that. They're like really cracking down on this like swearing thing now, so we gotta like keep it cordial. And if you could talk boxing with a clear mind, express what you would like about your fighter, what you see about any part of the fight game. I got no problem sitting down and talking. I don't try to force my views or change you as a fan. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here is to learn more every single day about the sweet science. I want to get better at it so that when I'm watching, One of the reasons why I started this channel in particular is because I asked myself, where does the best fighter in the world come from? Who is he? What does he look like? So I can only go off what we have in today's time. Um, and what we have today, the men and women that are lacing them up, uh, it's very interesting, the boxing era that we're living in today. And I think that we need to like appreciate the fighters more. This Terence Crawford, you know, card, it's saying it's having a little issues on selling right now out there in Las Vegas. But as the we get closer, I believe it's gonna sell out. Um, the Saudis, Turkey. I hope he's patient with the sport, and I hope that because I know that Turkey's gonna put a lot in investment to bring the American public a show. So if there was ever a fight that you ever thought about going to, I think that one's gonna be the one. I think even Eminem's performing for Tank David. I mean, sorry, for Terence Crawford. Uh so there's gonna be a lot in performance, and the Saudis is gonna flip the bill. So I think it's gonna be a really entertaining night. But let's get down to business. As for the fights themselves, these are some very, very interesting fights. I'm hearing a lot about a lot of different fighters and a lot of different situations on each fight. Let me explain. For instance, in the Big Belly Baby Miller fight, the fact that he lost like a significant amount of weight, it shows that he's dedicated, he's focused. When you go on a journey just alone to lose weight, shit, that can be hard enough, right? But this guy's a professional boxer. He knows what it's like to train, to hear that rocky music playing in the background in your head and keep that going, you know. He knows what it's like, but can he maintain it? And it looks like he did. He looks like he's in phenomenal shape. He's gonna bring the fight to Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. And Andy the Destroyer Ruiz, throughout his career, he's been going through a transformation of his own with money, tattoos, and his weight. His weight has always fluctuated. He's tried to get a better physique. He had gotten a little criticism coming into fighting Joshua 2, where that he came in over when he came overweight. I think it was by like 35 pounds. And versus the Joshua 1 fight when he beat Anthony Joshua. So Andy the Destroyer Ruiz has also been inactive for a little while. Big Baby has activity. He had look, that was a it was a pretty good fight against the wall and everything. And I I think for the way he carried his weight, I thought he was gonna gas out a lot sooner. And he didn't. He didn't really have any quit in his eyes. He knew he was tired. When a man is tired like that, um, some men check out. Not every man will stay in the fight. And he stood in the fight. He wasn't looking for an excuse. No, he was trying to land one punch because he was at that stage where that he recognized he was there. Don't throw that combination and throw out your last little bit of energy and leave yourself so vulnerable and tired that now you can't even block the punches that are coming your way. That's how tired you are. Your hands are just draped to the side and you're just trying to go backwards. You're defenseless. You rendered yourself like that. So in a fight, a lot of fighters get to that position where they're thinking about that. They don't want to empty their tank. with what he was working with the kind of shape he was in, hats off to him, to Miller, because I saw, I've seen men like that, tired, fatigued, what, like, I thought they were gonna, look at to Derek Teixeira. I knew I was gonna mess up his name. I'm sorry. In that fight the other night, he looked tired by like the third, fourth round, and he made it. He made it. And shame on Joy Joyce for not recognizing that and like um shame on Joe Joyce for not being able to get him out of there. He should have been able to put together a secretive combination as big as he is and get a man that tired and exhausted out of the way. He needed a little bit of help at certain points in the round. There was an iffy round too where that there was like 12 seconds left on the clock and he like looked out into the referee. He just bing. He saved him. He bought him time. He was about to give up. And there was a bing. I was like, oh, right. So let's see if we can turn that down a little bit right there. I'm still getting like a fade. Anyway, hopefully that sounds good. What's up, Kevin? What's your thoughts about this fight? About what fight? What my thoughts about Terence Crawford or I was just running down the card a little bit. Let's run down the card. Let's run down the card. Uh let's start fine, we'll start at the top with Terence Crawford and Ismail. Ismail Mo. Excuse me. Uh this is an interesting fight. This is the type of fight where these two skills are about to collide, right? And I don't think that Israel is fast enough where it comes to the jab. I don't think he's fast enough off the 1-2 from the outside. Stay with me on this, right? And I think that he puts his chin and his weight over his front foot. He like he's over like extending like this. Um I think he's very powerful and his biggest weapon is that he has deceptional boxing speed. When he's not that fast from the outside, but as soon as he closes that distance from like here to here with Terence, he becomes incredibly faster. He has boxing speed on the inside. It's surprising. It surprised a lot of the fighters that he is coming up against, and it's hard to adjust to. Terence Crawford, as soon as he shows them that part of him, it's up to Terence to find his perfect distance, timing. But those are the kind of reads that a fighter like Terence Crawford will make. Israel has the ability to switch up right or left, and he could follow Terence, or Terence could follow him. It's not going to be a question of whether that's going to be, you know, uh, an up one on either side. But for it's everything that I think that Israel has good for a weapon, the last thing I come to my final conclusion is that he's just a bigger, harder puncher. He's fought bigger men. He's been in this weight division basically his entire career, I believe. And he's accustomed to fighting these kind of size guys. Whether that you have the guy coming up in weight, Terence Crawford, highly skilled, very ring smart, a man that understands distance and timing, a man that can make adjustments and that can read patterns, a very dangerous fighter with a hellacious jab. He can switch from righty to southpaw fluently. You won't even tell. You can't even tell. He doesn't even have awkward movements. Okay. So what I believe is going to happen is that Terence is going to work off his jab in the first round. He's going to try angles on him. He's going to test the intelligence of Israel in front of him. Sometimes you want to test the fighter to see if you could get him with some okey doke, some straight that 1-2 punch that it's gonna land or it could land and hard if he falls for it. And that'll probably be a punch that is really high that he doesn't get hit back. It's like your ace in the hole. It's one of those combinations you got, and if he falls for it, boom, And so that's what you do. You test the intelligence of the fighter that's in front of you. I don't know exactly how he's gonna do it, but I think that that's what he would do, Terence. Once he has that feeling out process and he sees more or less what he can get away with, I think Terence is gonna start to turn on the heat. He's gonna start to try to break them down. And in those exchanges is where it gets scary. That's where it gets scary for me, because Israel can turn off your lights with any bad mistake. They've been champions of late that have tasted the canvas, and they were fortunate enough to get up and win a fight. Now, yeah, in a way, right? Some champions weren't able to get up. So, that's a scary situation whenever you see your fighter exchanging. You just want him to win the exchanges. I think that Terence is way too smart. There's a potential that he might just make this look easy. Okay, there's a huge possibility that he might just outclass Israel. That we don't see this kind of fight. And there's another side of it. There's a flip side to this quarter where we could see a barn burner between the two going into the later rounds. My prediction, I think Terence is going to stop him. Terence is coming off a massive knockout streak right now. I understand he hasn't been in the ring for quite some time, but in the last 5 going on 6 years, he's fought once a year. So he's probably more conditioned to do that. He's not a spring chicken. And maybe I don't think doing part that was all, his doing of him saying, yeah, I just want to fight once a year. No, I think a lot of that had to be behind the scene business things. And then it kind of side with his later years. Those kind of years could have been blown away with the corona epidemic and everything like that, and fighters not being able to fight as much. And then now at the tail end of his career, it just kind of met together. And if you were to read it, it would kind of give you like a false sense that this is what he was doing and that he only fights once a year. And that might not be true. Some of these things they're not up to the fighter and out of their control. So, but I really think that Terence Crawford will be victorious in this fight. I'm gonna side with Terence on that one. When you got Isa Pitbull Cruz and Jose Valenzuela, I think that has a possibility of being fight of the night or something. I think that both of these guys are gonna come in there. You could expect out of that fight, like probably the short thing is that Isa Pitbull Cruz is not gonna throw his jab. You could probably, if that was a gambling bet in Las Vegas, I would bet that Isa Pitbull Cruz doesn't throw a jab. Right? He just He's never had a jab, and I say that sarcastically. Every now and then he'll throw one, but once Esau gets touched, once another fighter hits him, the whatever jab he was throwing, that goes out the window. Now he's just forward aggression, hooks, over shots, like power shots. Um, Esau knows how to switch it up when he needs to too. He knows how to preserve his energy. I think the best performance he ever put on is because of the best motivation and the best dancing partner was against Tank Davis. Ironically, for the first time in Tank Davis's career, the fighter in front of him was shorter. So he had problems with the shorter guy, Tank. But you could see in that instance where we say that the right dancing partner means, it'll bring the best out of you. If you're not familiar with the term dancing partner is what we consider the guy across the ring from you, your equal. And that's the best way I could describe it. He's like your equal. And you're going to bring the best out of him, and he's going to bring the best out of you. So, and that's what we mean. Tank and Esau were just, two pit bulls actually, just colliding. And it made for an interesting fight. Tank broke his hands in the fight. He truly was like the one-armed bandit in there. He survived. He took the win, and lo and behold, now Esau Pitbull Cruz is putting himself in a unique situation. So, but we got business in front of us. So Esau and Jose, I like the fight. I think Jose Valenzuela, this is what his whole life has been built all the way up until this moment. Everything Jose's ever worked on, every win, every loss, has all led to this opportunity right here. When he got this phone call, it was hard to say no. He moved up to the 140. He's going to take his shot. Just like Esau Pitbull Cruz took his shot against Rolly, he's daring to be great and achieving a world title, which we know in the sport of boxing, every boxer in the sport of boxing isn't guaranteed a shot at a world title. So now, Jose is taking this opportunity seriously. I've seen training video on him, and I was watching, his shape, his mindset. I was trying to get some behind the scenes of where his head is at, and they both look, like I try to get that off Esau Pitbull Cruz. He always has like this blank stare. He always looks like he's like wants to kill you. He's like, you know what I mean? So it's hard to read him. He's always, you're always going to think you're going to get the best out of him, So Jose has a good jab. He has a good understanding of boxing. How he handles pressure is different. Esau Pitbull Cruz is not going to box him. This is going to be a really big test for Jose to see if he can keep Esau Pitbull Cruz off of him and avoiding them hooks. For as long as the fight goes on, you're giving Esau Pitbull Cruz a opportunity to knock out Jose Valenzuela. And Jose Valenzuela I think he's going to look good in the first half of the fight. Yeah, I think he's going to look good against them. I think that Esau's, training and his style of fighting, he knows how to wait out a fighter. He knows how to have a little bit of patience in a fight. Sometimes a little bit too much for my liking. But Esau knows how to be relentless, and he can weather a storm. For God's sake, if he took Gervonta Davis's punch for all the 12 rounds, come on, man. Gervonta's got to be one of the hardest punchers in the 130, anywhere south or north of the equator. For 130, 135, 140, He's got to be probably one of the hardest punchers in those 3 weight divisions, and he's not in all of them. I'm just saying there's just no one that's banging like that. There's a couple guys. Yeah, okay. But nah, Tank's top dog. Esau Pitbull Cruz took them punches, man. All that body work, everything. And if I think that Jose Valenzuela can hit harder than Tank Davis, it's not a matter of him hitting harder than Tank Davis, right? He doesn't have to hit harder than Tank Davis. He just got to be smarter and at least have a little power. I always said it, bro. I'd rather get hit with one sledgehammer than a fucking hammer all night. That shit hurts. So let's see what kind of power Jose has. Let's see if his training holds up throughout his preparation. Let's see. But Isa, for him, he's gonna have to get in the inside on Jose. I think that Isa Pitbull Cruz's pressure, he's gonna get right underneath him, kind of like a Mike Tyson peekaboo style. He's got this sneaky punch that it slides right up between the guard, right? And he's really effective with it. That's what starts off sometimes some of his combinations. It seems to be the punch that stuns his opponent enough for him to come in with those big hooks, whether he wants to come around the body or work up top. He'll change levels on you, but his pressure is going to be relentless. Isa is going to come with a volume of punches, and it's just his forward pressure. I don't think that you're going to have to utilize or cut off Isa Pitbull Cruz's jab, because I don't think that that's going to be one of his weapons. What he's going to have to do is stop his forward attack. And Isa Pitbull Cruz is all of 5'4", fighting at 140 pounds. So there's a little guy that is truly daring to be great. When we look back at all the men that we were worried about, no one, if you ask Calvin Ford right now about Tank Davis moving up to 140, he says he doesn't belong there. He doesn't belong at 140. He belongs at 135. You see? And here's a man that's 5'4", in the 140, right? World champion. And when we think of fighters like Naoya Inoue, 5'5", we're like, man, shit, he'll be maxed out at 130. We're all worried about him walking into 126. Isa Pitbull Cruz is 5'4". He's the 140-pound world champion. So I can't say anything, and there's one for the little guys, if you ask me, so he got my vote, that's a tough one to pick. That's a tough one on this one, just out of respect for Isa Pitbull Cruz, out of a champion's respect. I'm going to give him the 1 point nod that would make him the favorite in the fight in my head. Yeah. And I'm going to respect Jose Valenzuela as a worthy opponent. And I'm going to give him a serious 2. So yeah, I'll take Isa in the fight, but I'm not counting out Jose Valenzuela whatsoever. I believe Mexico wins in that fight. I believe these are 2 strong Mexican fighters, and Mexico, when one of these men walk out of the ring, you will still have a world champion. Salute to Mexico. Who else we got here? Oh, Andy Cruz and David Morale. Okay, they're both competing like to see who the top Cuban, superstar or the next one is going to be, right? And look, I was going to say this too. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is training with Boots Ennis, is senior, right? And he's the one that's helped them get in shape. So I really think that with a coach like that, he doesn't fuck around, bro. And I think he's going to get him in really good shape, right? But he also coaches Andy, right? And Cruz. And we were talking about this on my boy's platform. Shout out to Claymore. I was on his show yesterday. And he was talking to me, and he was there. Ray bring this up, and he said, yo, how's he training both fighters? He's gonna have them on the same card. Does he have time to properly train and give all the attention to both fighters? Because both these fighters, you would have to train different. He's in the heavyweight division. He's in the, you see what I'm saying? So your sparring partners wouldn't even be in the same ballpark. You feel me? So how did he properly train both these fighters? I don't know who he has for staff, now that his son became world champion. If he has the, guys that see, like most coaches, they don't like you fucking with their fighter. They don't like you coming in and trying to teach their fighter, shit they didn't never taught them. Now they gotta unteach them that shit. They're teaching their fighter a certain way, and they don't want all of a sudden their fighter to go somewhere else and start training, and he starts doing shit. You're like, what are you doing? You don't want that. You want the same coach with the same vision. And when they help you prepare your fighter, this guy works on them with speed, cardio, strength conditioning. You're not coaching him. When I tell you to hit the pads and I put somebody for you to hit the pad, I've already laid out a sequence. And since pad work is about moving your arms, sometimes speed, working on combinations, teaching the body to fluctuate, but strategic strategy and formation. What do you look like throwing the punch? Are you tucked in? Are you straight? Foot out, back foot in? Like, that's the coach's job. That's where he doesn't want you fucking with his fighter. So if you're the coach, he would have to train both fighters. And he brought up an interesting point. And I was like, like, is Andy at a point where he's like, yo, Andy, just run the drills over here. You know what you got to do. I got Gerald. I need to work with him. And I don't know how they work that out. Or did they come in at morning and night? And Boots Ennis, yeah, he probably did some shit like that, right? He had like maybe Big Belly Miller come in the morning and then him at night or something. That's got to be exhausting for a man that age too, man. Like all day, and then you got to train your son. I don't know, man. Hey, so yeah, so that right there is going to be interesting in itself. Who else we have on the card? David Morrell. David Morrell's going to be on the card. Who would you guys like? What's up, Bam Bam? What y'all doing? How you doing? All right, in the building. TW Surf One. Crawford's going down like a clown. That's about. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? You think that Israel's gonna stop him? He's gonna do like uh what's his name? Um oh my god, bro. Bivol, Demetrius Bivol did to Saul Canelo Alvarez. You think he's gonna do that? Because when these fighters dare to jump up to another weight division, this is a big chance. It's a big chance. And then let's talk about how we got here, right? A lot of fans I've read online that they're upset with Terence Crawford for holding up the belts at 147, right? And then the business side to that coin, um, is that he had to hold on to those belts, right? When he couldn't guarantee that he would get anyone else to fight him, any of the other champions in the upper weight division. So what he was going to do was is use like the WBO or the WBA structure to challenge the above champion, because under their belts they have like these rule structures. So he got the WBA to fight him. You see, so he held on to the belts until he got what he needed. I feel like he should vacate those belts, all of them. I'm not sure what the complete status of all four of them are. And I know the WBC Mario Barrio. We know that the IBF went to Jerome Boots Ennis. We know that. But for all four, the official status of all four. So I would like to go check that out. So look, this is gonna be a interesting fight. Whenever you got a guy moving up, this shit can happen. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that, right, we have some great fights on this card anyway, So look, I think J- Anderson, Gerald Anderson, baby Anderson, I think he's got a tough fight in front of him. Don't be surprised to see him get knocked out. Shit, don't be surprised to see a lot of people on this card get knocked out. There's a lot of tough fights on this card, top to bottom. Yeah, so we're gonna cover this card, and I will join me, as we break down these fights together and stuff, and you know, I you know, it, this card is amazing. I don't have no doubt that the card will sell out as we reach the final days, because I think that the buzz is going to start getting out there of all the performances and the stars and celebrity that will be in attendance in Las Vegas. I think the Saudis know how to throw a party, and there's just going to be much more out there than just boxing in Las Vegas. So I believe that's when people start buying tickets and selling out that arena, as we get closer, to the fight. So yeah, and we have a lot more. Look, this fight with Joshua, right, and Dubois right now for the IBF title. A lot of people, they wanted to see Joshua, fights Dante Wilder like 100 times, but unfortunately, Dante Wilder didn't make it to the dance, and Dubois has proven to be worthy. With his last performance, he won me over as a fan. Let me tell you that right now. I question Dubois. I question his will to win. I question his chin. I question his durability, his training, all the way into his last fight where he really showed himself. Yo, he bit down on the mouthpiece in certain situation. He took big shots, walked through them too. He wore them well. He boxed great, and went in a lot of fights that were supposed. This fight was like going to be a showcase for the other guy, and they were like, "Oh yeah, put in him Dubois. He'll give up like he always does. His mo. He'll fall apart. He's a front runner." And not on that night. Not on that night. So I think that this version of Dubois, as he gets older and more older in the sport of boxing, and he gets better as he moves on and stuff. Um, Joshua is Joshua. You have a lot of tape on Joshua. He's gonna be Anthony Joshua. You just gotta divide a game plan. He's been moving around from coach to coach. He's back with his other guys in his last, if you want to call that a boxing match, knocking out Francis Ngannou was a big payday, but it wasn't a big boxing match. What work did he do there? You know what I'm saying? So, uh, the ball got a chance. He's got a chance. He's got a chance of pulling off a big upset against Anthony Joshua and at least solidifying that world title, the IBF. Bam, what's up, baby? Amando, what up? I don't want to make anyone cry. What? What's going on here? What? Oh yeah, the tennis player going to the finals. Yeah. I haven't really checked out the Olympics. Yeah. Um, I've just been a little too busy. If I'm not doing this or trying to like, promote the brand on other streaming or studying or reading up on boxing, I'm usually like taking care of my house and shit and got a lot of things that I do in my everyday life. So I haven't even got a chance to even keep up with some of the boxing news right now that's been going on in the sport, but I like to keep up to date and stuff with everything. And I can't wait for some of the biggest fights. Eventually, Naoya Inoue and perhaps Terence Crawford or Tank or something like that will be on one of those Saudi cards. I've seen the Saudis talking about it a lot. They're interested in Naoya Inoue fighting in America. They're interested on those kind of fighters, and the prince knows about boxing, and he's aware of all the champions, and how dominate the champions are. There are very, very few fighters anyway that fight on pay-per-view. So the ones that are, he's very aware of them and who they are. So and then to showcase Naoya Inoue, I think to showcase him to America, I would love them to put him on a big card, a superstar in America's cards, such as a Javante Davis or Terence Crawford. Like to headline, to showcase Naoya Inoue. I think that would boost him up. Give him a fight card like that where he's like the co-main event, and I guarantee you the next time he fights, he'll be headlining the event. Just you got to give him that little platform. And if you could boost that card up and surround Naoya Inoue with great fights as well, he'll be able to showcase his talents at a world stage at a big high level. So yeah. And then you got Floyd Mayweather doing his exhibition with Gotti there, and the rumors that Ryan Garcia want to also get involved. Look, for whatever happened with Ryan Garcia, I'm a big believer in, once you got convicted of the crime and you do your time, you shouldn't be keep getting penalized for that. That's what they gave you time for, right? But you go to jail, you get out, and it seems like you got to keep explaining that to the rest of the world in every job application or, you know, girlfriend's dad you meet. Hey, whatever you done, you know what I mean? Or whatever it plays out in your life. It seems like, why did you give me this time anyway if I was going to pay for this for the fucking rest of my life? You see? It's kind of like you getting hit with it always twice. So I think that, he could look, staying active out there, fighting exhibitions, Ryan Garcia, I think it would keep him active, active. It's not real professional fights, but you see, when Ryan Garcia decides to do something like this, a lot of people criticize this move. But wait a minute, isn't Conor Ben expelled from the UK? And that's exactly what he's doing here in America. Isn't that what he's doing? And all of a sudden, Ryan Garcia gets an idea to keep active, and it's like people are like, no, he shouldn't be allowed to do anything. Like, damn, let the man breathe. All right. And the People's Court of Opinions, he was found guilty. He was found guilty in his actual event, and he was given a sentence, which he's currently serving. Okay, we're done with that. Ryan, you're free to do whatever you want until that time expires. We'll see you back in the sport of boxing. Until then, no, people don't leave them alone. Nah, they're doing more than outside of boxing, and that's, you know, fuck, man. Like, I'm just a firm believer in, and shit. If I did the crime and they gave me the time, well, damn it, if I didn't serve the time, I'm okay with it. I forgot about it. Why don't you let it go? Right? But that's how it is. So, but what's up, Frontline? How you doing, brother? What's up, Carlos? How you doing? Armando, how you doing? Bam Bam, how you doing? Salute to the chat out there. Here we go. Edwin always changing his pick after the fight. Yo, check this out. Why you always bringing up old shit? See, that's exactly what I'm trying. Oh, he's like, you talking about Edwin? Now I get it. Yo, Carlos, are you gonna co-sign that? Now you laugh. He got like the laughing emojis and shit. So you co-signing that, right? So I just be cheating at the end. Nah, bro, we don't got no film on that and shit. You know what I mean? let's not fact check that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just take my word for it, and that's it. Let's move on. We need to heal. Okay. Yo, hell, listen. Listen, nah, you the man, bro. Hey, and if I had my sound effects on this StreamYard, we'd be popping them off. But I'm always trying shit, won't work, trying shit, won't work, trying shit, won't work, trying shit. You know what I mean? Yo, tell me if y'all heard that bell ring. And the little bam, 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 bam. I just hit it off right now. Bam, 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 bam. Yo, Lionheart, what's up? You waiting, lurking in the shadows for his title back. You know what I'm saying? The famous Notre Dame. Yo, Lionheart is like sitting in the background, waiting to get his title back. I'm coming back for it. I'm coming back for the title. And everybody that thinks he gonna take me out, Lionheart, original title holder. That's it. In his head, that's how he is. Yo, Lionheart right now. Hey, yo, the Notre Dame is prestigious title. Da, 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 da. I'll just hold on to it for us. Cause Lionheart, you know what I mean? You can't trust Lionheart, man. You just never know. We'll let Carlos hold it, huh? Ghost Rider, my man. Yeah, no, he was the last. Yeah, right? Yeah, Ghost Rider was the last. Yeah, so salute to Ghost Rider for picking the fight right. So, what are you guys looking to talk about? Anybody want to join the live stream? You guys, anybody got a camera? You know what I mean? You got a phone with a microphone? Want to shoot up here, talk boxing? Remember to, if I invite you on, whatever, just be respectful, and we can talk boxing, right? So what I'm going to do is, let's see here. This is the new system. I thought for one. Minuto. Okay. Well, let's see. Uh, and my other one, it would have it up here like that. Yeah, remove. Okay, no. Well, how do you do that in StreamYard? I have no fucking idea. You look good wearing the belt. You look good. Nah, I think you look better around my waist, bro. You know what I mean, Armando? What you think, Armando? Hey, yo, Bam, that shit look way better around my waist, right? Don't front. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen. So, um, Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis, they've been going back and forth about their possible fight now that Lomachenko has said that he is not motivated. And I'm just quoting his own words. We know that Lomachenko doesn't want this fight because of the tweets and the post that he put out himself. So we're just going off what he said. You know, his mind, his heart is not in the game. He doesn't have that motivation. He needs time to step away from the sport and be with his family. That was the tweet that he put out, right? So now everybody, you know how we are. We want the next the best fighting the best, and it just so happens that two of the top best 135 pounders in the world are American fighters, Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. So now they look to go head to head. Tank Davis right now it's in the Olympics, supporting the boxing team there as like a boost. Here comes Tank Davis, the world champion. Like he's practically one of the faces of boxing. Collectively, the thing is that I believe that there can be different faces to boxing. Canelo Alvarez is a face of boxing. Usyk is a face of boxing. Shit, in some circles, Tyson Fury is over there. There are Naoya Inoue, I believe, has a big following in Japan, and over there, like the Filipino side, I think Naoya Inoue is the face of boxing over there. Yeah, I don't. If you would have asked them dudes like who the fuck is Terence Crawford, I don't think they'll know. Some of them maybe hardcore fans, yes, but they'll know Naoya anyway over there. So it's like vice versa, So I believe that Tank is like, a big star in boxing, and bringing him to the Olympics will really boost the morale of the kids out there, the young fighters looking at Tank Davis. Like, yeah, man, look, So, and after that, I heard that he was going to start negotiation process over with Shakur. So if you're tuning in late, that's where I believe we're at. They were announcing this November date online. Uh, that's not true. That's not true. That's fake news. Yeah. So um uh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So get with Ryan. He's not doing anything. Armando says with a year suspension. Yeah, but Floyd Mayweather wanted to take him out there to Japan and shit and have him fight exhibitions. He can do that. He can't fight. He's suspended from fighting in the U.S. Ryan Garcia can go anywhere else and fight. It might not, be a sanctioned fight, although he could. He could fight in the UK. That's exactly what Conor Benn is doing. Conor Benn got suspended for popping dirty for banned substance, a PE, right? Out of the UK. He is banned from fighting in the UK for 2 years. That's a long ban. That means positively he got handed out the heaviest sanction. That means that there was like, I guess, no way around his bullshit. He could say whatever he wants, but they felt like giving him the maximum 2 years suspended. So he legitimately got up and moved to the US. And Ed Hearns is promoting him out here, trying to get him fights out here. Because that 2-year ban of inactivity would have been too much for him. That can take you out. Some fighters won't survive that. Coming back, they'll never be the same fighter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's so technically Ryan can go anywhere he wants. He just can't fight in the United States. That's he can fight in Japan. He can fight in Philippines. He can fight in Russia. Yeah, he could do any of that. He could, matter of fact, he could go to UK or Australia and fight in the Wembley Stadium or some shit. He could make money if Ryan wanted to. They can't stop him. Because Conor Benn is doing the same exact thing. Yeah. Off of a suspension, off of a PE. Same scenario. The Zapata fight, the Shakur Stevenson and the Zapata Amando is getting to look like it's gonna be more the fight to be made, because once upon a time that fight, for whatever reason, didn't come to fruition between those two fighters, William Zapata and Shakur Stevenson. Okay, but now we're here, and Shakur Stevenson, to a lot of boxers in the boxing community, he looks like he has a chink in his armor, where that fighters are starting to question, um, his warrior spirit to go forward, and if he gets hit, he starts to evade. He did, and that he's starting to get the stereotype that he can't handle power well. He doesn't like to get hit. Yeah. So, and then when you got a fight like Cepeda, that's such a pressure fighter too. He can box. He can box. When he wants to box, he'll box. But Cepeda is going to work off his combinations and his pressure. He's going to try to create some of his windows. Cepeda. And he's the kind of fighter that's a reaction fighter. Like he'll react, so and a volume type of fighter, a lot of punches. So now that you start to see a fighter like Shakur Stevenson going through what he's going through, other fighters are going to want to attack him. He's fighting public, what the public feels. He's being scrutinized and criticized for his performances. He's arguing with his coach. This is the time to attack. Get him, you know, get him while he's off balance. And as a strategic standpoint, if I was, his coach, I'd be like wanting to get that fight now, because I just maybe he might not be in the right mindset mentally and physically as one to perform well. And all fighters or coaches are going to look for the upper hand. And if I'm thinking like that, there's probably other people that are too as well. But I think that Shakur Stevenson, though, with William Cepeda, that fight itself, Shakur is he's just so talented, man. It's hard to see him lose. It really is. He's he knows a lot. He's just, of late, he's been a little gun shy and a little bit more cautious. But as of Shakur Stevenson, since he really hasn't had that dancing partner to bring it out of him, he hasn't really had that kind of fight that he needs to also showcase. If he's already clearly wanting the fight in second gear, I don't think he needed to switch it up. And I think kind of that's what Shakur in some situations felt like he was in. But I think that Shakur Stevenson on his part, all Shakur got to do in that Cepeda fight is be himself. Really, truly, just be himself. Cepeda is going to have a lot of problems with Shakur if Shakur is on. We've all seen Shakur when he's on. If Shakur Stevenson of the 130-pound division steps into that ring against William Cepeda, it's going to be a long night for William Cepeda. It's going to be a very long night, and then, because with everything, all the skills, and this misconception that Shakur Stevenson doesn't have power, I don't know where this is starting from, but I'm going to tell you right now. The reason why he's not knocking out so many people is because they're pros. They know how to roll with the punches, and their technique is a bit more sound. So to catch him on the jaw, it's harder. He's just not going to lean out his jaw out there. I'm going to tell you right now, if Shakur Stevenson catches probably anybody from the side with a punch, he's knocking you out. He's going to knock you out. So don't think that Shakur Stevenson has pillows in his hand. I've seen Shakur Stevenson knock dudes out over and over in the ring. But the guys that he's fighting are trained boxers. They're not just going to give you their chin. He's breaking them down. And some were smart. Some of these guys were real challenges at Shakur's time. So you got to kind of give credit to the guys that saw the name Shakur Stevenson come across their desk, and they brought the best fight out of him. And then you're asking yourself, why didn't Shakur Stevenson beat this guy like that? This guy was on his game. Why? Because Shakur's name brought the best fighter out of him. You got the best version of him. You might have watched that same guy lose before in the past, and all of a sudden Shakur had a little problem with him. Yeah, because you finally got that guy to fight the fucking best he ever fought. And he put it on the line, probably fighting against Shakur. It's probably was basically what was happening. So, and Shakur still wins the fight. They're bringing the best out of them, and he's still winning. So, it's going to be hard to beat Shakur. It's going to be real hard to beat him. When he's on his game, first of all, he's real stingy with his defense. Well, what he lets you hit him with, he's real stingy. He's real good in his movement. He understands good timing. He can get a little laxy-daisy at times. He has there's a moments in fight where you can see where Shakur is going to come in, and other fighters have hit him on the top of the head, and it made him reluctant from doing that again and staying on the outside most of the fight and working off of his legs. And but he does do good work. His form is fucking is great. He has a lot of punches with flashy kind of punches and shit. Real sneaky kind of punches, Shakur. If you're not smart, if you're not a veteran boxer, he'll hit you with shots like that. But when you're a veteran boxer, you know where to stand. You know what to do. You know what not to give Shakur. And with all that, even these guys that are trying, they're like remembering what they were training and working over against Shakur, leading into a Shakur fight, and he still takes that away from you. He's a good fighter, bro. He really is. He's just getting a bad rap for these last kind of performances and shit. I really don't know, but I think he's gonna turn it around, and he's gonna learn that he's gonna have to take more chances and be more dominant. And whether that's gonna determine his future in securing these bigger fights. Now, if you're asking me, should Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson fight now? It's fucked up, right? Because let me explain why. In a situation now, the way it is, I don't think they should fight. Stay with me. Don't tune away, right? Watch. Hear me out. I don't think they should fight because there's other champions that have other belts from other nationalities. There's two Ukrainian champions out there. And I believe that we should take them out first before competing against each other. You know, Shakur, an American fighter, Tank, an American fighter. So, yes, I would like them to compete against each other, but I think they should wipe out everybody else. And what I mean by this is a messed up situation is because of the fact that we didn't get those fights back in the day, like we didn't get the Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. We didn't get Tank Davis versus Loma. We didn't get the Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney, or the Teo versus Ryan fight. Well, we didn't get any of those fights. So what happened was the fans are like clamoring for these big fights now, right? And it kind of falls on the shoulders of Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson to give us that. You see? And it's a kind of shitty situation when, in fact, in this point in time, they really shouldn't take the fight. But the fans are going to be like, nah, we're tired of this. And it kind of falls on them to bring us that fight that we've all been waiting for. Because we've gotten to see our favorite champion fight, but for the most part, it wasn't always against that right dancing partner. So when the fans are now at this point, that's what I mean by it kind of falls on Tank and Shakur now, doesn't it? So I can see why you guys and including myself were asking for it. I sit back and I observe, why am I asking for this fight so passionately? Why do I want it? And I'm like, oh, okay. It's because, we were misled back then. We wanted, and that Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. took so goddamn long to come together that by time it came together, we wanted to pretend like we were mad. Like that moment, I don't want it. I don't want it. No. And then they give it to you and you take it. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like, it felt like that. I was so pissed. I remember being so pissed off by each announcement. Like, no, it's going to be here. No, it's going to be here. No, the following year. No, the following year. No, this. I was so fed up with it. But when it finally happened and they were walking down, getting in the ring, oh, I had butterflies in my stomach. The unknown, who would win, the suspense of the fight, watching Terence Crawford in one corner and Errol in another. It was fucking phenomenal, man. It was just a great moment in sport. Now, the way the fight played out, I never would have predicted that, right? At some point in the fight, I started feeling sorry for Errol. I wanted to go in there and fight Terence Crawford myself. Like, back up off him, bro. That's enough, man. Yo, just get in there. Just be like, nah, that's enough. That's it. And like, yo, I wanted to fight for Errol, bro. For real. It was getting hard to watch. I remember at one point. We could say a lot. It was doing part to a lot of car accidents, whatever. Both men signed the contract. Yes. Did both men agree to fight? Yes. Did both men have training camps? Yes. It is what it is then. It is what it is. I don't care if your arm was broken the night before. Did you agree to go along with the event? Yeah. All right. So let's not play what if or excuses for anything we don't know nothing about. I absolutely do not know anything or Errol's condition to be talking like I know what. Oh no, it was definitely the car accidents, or it was definitely this, or he looked this way. You know what? I gotta catch myself sometimes and realize that I don't know any of that shit. So I ain't gonna claim that I to know it. So Errol lost the fight, and that's what it was. That was it. And we're gonna get Terence Crawford right now, entering his fourth weight division. Um, and it's for the 154-pound title of the world, the WBA. Ismail, a lot of people are saying that, his low level of fights, and not a lot of boxing experience, especially not a lot of championship experience, or the type of championship experience Terence Crawford has already been through. Some of these things come into play into factor. I don't think it is for Israel. I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't. I think you could put that man anywhere in the world. He's probably gonna fight the exact same way he's gonna fight on this night. All he needs is just Terrence's name to motivate him. I can guarantee you he's gonna get the best version of that man. And like we say, this is the definition of dancing partner. When you look on the other side of the ring and you think you see your equal. Sometimes Terence Crawford spoke about this and he said, I go into fights thinking that it's going to be like the fucking toughest fight of my life and end up being the easiest. And the one that I thought that was going to be the easiest end up being one of the toughest. It was always like that guy, that green guy that, kind of gave him a problem or a fit, and it's true. It's true. Terence is right. The one thing about Terence Crawford, man, is that he's not underestimating Israel at any sense. No, he's not that kind of fighter. He's taking him at a maximum level threat. And Terence's team and his coach, Bomac, they're smart. They're smart as training. They're smart in preparation. They're smart in approach. And when you got a team that is equally as smart as the fighter inside of the ring, that's a deadly combination. Because not only are, you seeing what you see inside of the ring and able to talk that over with your coach has another set of eyes that he's watching things in the ring that he can let you know. It's a very good when you and your coach have that bond like that and that you guys are seeing the fight the same way and that you're not fighting against your coach. You believe in your training, you believe in your coaching, and you're sticking to the game plan. And when it's time to switch it up or make adjustments, you're able to see them and make the right adjustments. So Bomac and Terence Crawford have a great relationship. And as a coach and pupil, they're on the same page, bro. Terence Crawford's going to be in phenomenal shape. Behind the scenes, I don't think there's any time any fight comes into the, truth be told, there everybody's just it comes in a fight fucking injured. If you want to know the truth, no one ever comes into a fight like 100% healthy. Usually, typically, like 80% of the time, you're gonna have some injury that you're hiding, whether it's a stub toe, a bent finger in training. It could be something simple. You could have got your eardrum blown out, sparring, and you can't hear out of this ear, but you don't tell nobody else that. Your eye could be fucking with you. You could be nursing a black eye. So, fighters go into the ring not necessarily 100%. And that we like as a fighter, we know that about, no, I don't think there's really no fighter that goes in that can survive an entire intense training camp and not suffer like minor injuries. They're minor in the sense, yeah, you didn't break your leg. It might not be minor on the way it makes you feel or what it, affects your performance. But at the end of the day, you step in the ring, you're responsible for the outcome. I'm not making an excuse for any fighter. No, I'm in agreement that if you stepped in that ring, then you're responsible for what happens. You know what I'm saying? At least your part, your side. So yeah, I'm not gonna make excuses for anyone. Yeah, let's see what you guys got saying here. Lionheart. I'm not. Yeah, you Lionheart, you know that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in a gym, Lionheart, and you've been in the gym and you've been like, like competing, whether it's amateur or boxing or everything, you start talking to the guys and yourself, you're gonna realize, bro, we're all hurt. We're all hurt. All of us. It's always something. Somebody's got a bunion in his toe. Something. Something. We're not always, when I was young and amateurs and shit, there were a couple of fights. I mean, I was so goddamn young. I felt bulletproof. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't tell if I was hurt. My arm be broke. Hey, your coach be like, yo, your arm's broke. I'm like, damn, I need to get that fixed. Yo, because, you know, but yeah, that right there is, that's a myth if you think that your fight is going to come into the fight 100%. And after every fight, the fighter, if they lose, it's typically the one thing that they blame their loss on. Oh, I came in here without a left leg. I didn't have an entire left leg. Bro, then why you get in the ring? You know what I mean? Nah, no excuses, no excuses. So I give none. Hey, you lost. It is what it is, right? So, uh, let's see, fun line. What's up, chat? How y'all doing out there? Salute to the chat. Yo, I know that there is a way that I could pop this up. You motherfucker. There it is. Here we go. Oh, I got the same system on this. So let me find some cool messages to put up. You know what I mean? But definitely ain't gonna be no Ellen be cheating and calling the fights at the that ain't going on. Yeah. Yo. Yeah, did you see Shakur Stevenson type out Lionheart? Did you see Shakur Stevenson typing out that one thing on social media platform where that he was saying that like all YouTubers and everything were were lying and throwing dirt on his name and everything, and and that's what I mean. A lot of the distractions that some of these boxers put on themselves, and sometimes a lot of this criticism that Shakur Stevenson is getting, in fact, is due in part to him. These are all the things that he's saying out of his mouth. These are all the I'm better than him, I'm gonna knock him out, I'm gonna do this, and once again, right away, um, leading into Shakur's last fight against an Armenian, right? Right before leading into that fight, all the fans, Shakur fans, were saying, "You guys are gonna see tonight. Shakur Stevenson's gonna shock the world. Shakur Stevenson's gonna rock this dude, and that you guys are gonna see what kind of fighter he is." You guys said that leading into the Edwin De Los Santos fight. Then you guys were saying that leading into the Armenian fight. Now you're saying it if he fights Tank Davis. It just doesn't seem that Shakur Stevenson is giving those kind of performances to his fans when Tank Davis is knocking out undefeated fighters and fighters that have never been knocked out. Frank the Ghost Martin has never been knocked out. Tank Davis knocked him out and in a brutal fashion. So when you're putting up Tank Davis's knockout versus a unanimous decision, you know, uh, but Shakur is saying what? Then Shakur was the one leading into the Anamanian fight, right? That he was telling all his fans, you're going to see the real version of Shakur Stevenson tonight. You're going to see how dominant I am. Okay, who said that? Shakur Stevenson. So who put these expectations on you? Shakur Stevenson put them on himself. You put all these standards and everything you said that you were gonna do after the fight. Everybody's like, "Yo, where the fuck is the knockout? Why didn't you do this?" And now he's like, "No, no." And then Shakur Stevenson lashes back out at all of us because, okay, some people were saying some real disrespectful shit to him, and and then he's fighting 1,000 voices. He's getting on, hearing criticism, and then turning on the mic and ranting about uh thinking about this guy's message and answering your questions. His mind's not in the right state. So some of these fighters need to just pump their brake. We were just talking about Floyd Schofield, right? And we were saying that his father is setting a lot of expectations on him. And his father's saying an awful or a lot. His father sees the gimmick that kind of like Devin Haney did with his father type shit, and many father and sons gimmick things in the past that he's just like setting the bar. I remember when the Balls father, the bells, right? And um ball, the black dude with the ball head, his sons, yeah, the Balls, right? They play in the NBA. His father, their father, when he was at the height of his shit talking, oh my god, that was a fucking, it was must see TV. Sometimes you had to tune in for, he was talking about, you could beat Michael Jordan in his prime. If he went, like, I was just like, yo, he would say outlandish things, straight capping, bro. And it seems like Floyd Schofield's dad is like, look, whether you feel like he's capping, talking shit, promoting his son, doing the right thing, setting these expectations to try to move his son's career along, at the end of the day, what matters is what he does in the ring. It really truly doesn't matter whatever his father says. I know it can be annoying for some fighters, and some people got want to say some things back to him and stuff, but in actuality, it all boils down to what Schofield's going to do in the ring. So let's see how he performs. So, fight fans, listen, you guys have been amazing. I'm going to cut this video right here short. I have some previous engagements, but listen, thank you for tuning in and showing your support to the channel. Carlos, Bam Bam, Armando, Lionheart, everyone in the chat family, thank you for joining in. Please give the videos a like, share the videos, and I'll be on tomorrow. And if you have anything you want to talk about, please write it down in the comments. And we'll see if we can get this channel up and going so that we can get some of you that would like to share your insight in boxing. Come share it with me on my channel, and we can talk about it. So I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace. Have a good night, y'all.